It's a bear. I think we got that one wrong today. Hey, what's up? This is Brian Kuzmar with Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals in beautiful Lauderdale by the Sea. A little overcast and cloudy out here, but still a nice day. And got the live cam up for the Miami Coral Cam. A lot of strong currents. I mean, I tried to pull up a couple different cameras, the Deerfield Beach cam, the Viva La Keys cam with all the snappers and everything. And again, a lot of strong currents and turbulence in the water. Cloudy, really cloudy water, low visibility, and kind of, I was thinking, well, maybe I need to go above ground and do a shot of the manatees or something like that. And it just occurred to me, I'm always showing you the beautiful side of all these corals and these reef and the fish. And here's the here's the side that you don't see very often. Most of the time we see all the beautiful fish swimming around. We don't see the strong currents and the turbulence and the cloudiness of what we can see in the low visibility. And really, this is kind of similar to how markets are and how the world is right now. Lots of strong currents, lots of turbulence out there, really cloudy, low visibility. Where do you go? What do you do? There's so many people out there willing to take your money and so much advice, and including my advice. And again, my advice is just that, my opinion. I am not a financial advisor, but no less, there's everybody and their brother's got advice of where to put your money and what to do with it. However, not everybody and not every investment or safe place to put your money has a track record like precious metals. So it's something that's very unique to our business. It's something very unique to what you are stacking and collecting yourself, your personal, you're one of the few out there. You're a member of a very small club. If you're listening to my videos and you're buying gold and silver and you've been doing it for a long time, no matter what your opinion is on the other stuff that I talk about, we all have one thing in common: is we all believe in sound money, and what that is what gold and silver is: sound money. It's not very erratic. It's been around for 5,000 years. But let's talk about markets real quick here and see what's going on. We've seen some highs and some strange highs and lows. I'm going to do a quick refresh here and see where we're at the moment. Even down a little bit further. And let's take a look at markets. 1798 is the low, 1814 is the high. Currently sitting at 1804. And see, when I originally, I think about 9 o'clock, I started this video. I had to delete 3 of them. I said, man, I don't even want to listen to this. So a couple of them I had to delete. But when I originally started my first video, the gold price was sitting around 1814. I said, wow, that was about 9 o'clock a.m. And then in the New York comics, it's slowly kind of been taken down a little bit. Silver holding its own pretty well, though. Look at that. 2244 is the low, 2270 is the high, and currently sitting at 2253. Platinum shot up. I mean, it was in that sub 900 category yesterday. Now we're sitting at 941, low of 933 since yesterday's close, and a high of 948. So not too far off from that high. And what the hell is that? Something fell behind me. Well, let's take a look at the 24-hour charts here real quick and see what we're looking at. I'm going to do a quick refresh here as well. And I suspect, let's take a look here. There's the green line, there's today, and it looks like at the opening of New York, gold shot up a little bit and then kind of backed off into that. We're still above that $1,800 mark, but it's kind of sideways and drifting a little bit lower. I'm kind of curious to see if we close today in New York above 1,800. I'm not sure, but let's see what happens here. And let's look at the 24-hour chart with silver as well and do a quick refresh here. You can tell that it's been a little while since I've refreshed it. There we go. Silver looks like in the overnight, here was yesterday's close in the orange right here. The market stayed in that yesterday after New York again, stayed in that 2240 range, and it's kind of got a little hammered down here this morning in the New York comics markets, but it looks like it's kind of made I'm sorry, give me 1 second here. Black line. My apology, I went off on the blue line, which was on December 15th. The black line, there we go. Too many lines. And 2240, it looks like silver's kind of been drifting sideways since yesterday's up, which is the orange line there. So, looking good for precious metals right now. I'm kind of really surprised. I thought, along with the trashing that everything else seems to be taking right now, that metals would take that similar type of hit, but not so. Markets in the Dow market's down about 398 points right now. Dow, the S&P's down 26. NASDAQ's bouncing around a little bit up. But across the board, it looks like there's a lot of red there, so I was really kind of surprised to see gold in the green. Let's take a look at the crypto markets. Also kind of hammered there as well. That market's down about 3%. And let's just move along. It's going to be a quick video today here. The index, now there's something here I wanted to point out too. I've been looking at this Fed index for quite some time and showing this. This is the buying power, purchasing power of the consumer dollar in the average U.S. city. And you can see, you know, since the Fed was created in 1913, it's been a downward trend. But interestingly enough, and let me see if I can do this right here. Let's take a future date. This was kind of frightening here. And you can see I'm going to go up to our current date right now. And let's plug in 2020, January, to 2021 to this current date right now. And 2021, that's a 1 year chart. Look at this chart, folks. I mean, that's kind of scary. Look at this is 2020. Look at the buying power of the dollar in the U.S. average city. Now, this is Fred economic data right here, economic research. But look at the buying power of the dollar just in 1 year, 2021 to, oh, I'm sorry, I got the wrong, boy, a little off on my dates here, aren't I? Well, 2020 to 2021, yeah, okay. That's kind of scary right there. Look at that decline. I mean, it's accelerated. I'm going to go out to a longer chart, but look, 2020, and look how fast when you move in close to that chart. Look, this is just scary. It's just plain scary. Now, I'm going to go and do the 1 year, and you'll see, even on the 1 year chart, not the 1 year chart, let's go to a 5 year chart. On a 5 year chart, you can see that the trend is just downward. So, and then there's your max chart right there. But it really, it seems in 1970, like I said, and I've said this over and over and over, this is why gold is going to benefit. This is why, you know, you're going to see a lot of ups and downs in the gold and silver market, but gold and silver is probably, I'm going to say probably, not probably, it is, I believe it's going, I can be accurate in saying it is the only investment you can make that you can literally put it away, walk away from it, and over a course of a period of time, it's just going to be up in value, or at least held its value or gone up in value in basis to whatever the fiat currency of the time is. And again, if you compare charts here with, let's take a look at some charts back over here real quick. Let me go back to these charts, and I'm going to overlay gold prices and the US dollar correlation. I mean, this says it all right here, folks, for the most part. I mean, look at the price of gold when the dollar's taking a tank, and look at right here. Here's the dollar right here, and there you got gold. It's an exact inverse relationship for the most part with gold and the dollar. And when you just look at this chart, right, as I've been talking about, where is it right here? You look at this chart. Boy, I got a couple of those guys up there. You can see that the acceleration downward in the buying power of the dollar, it just keeps continuing. So over time, the price of gold is just going to continue to go up and up and up. Let's kind of move along to the next thing here, which is Gresham's law. Bad money drives out good money. We always touch on this subject right here. However, I think what we're seeing right now is an acceleration of the degradation, of the U.S. dollar's buying power. I mean, it's been happening since. I mean, really, if you look at it, it's been happening since what, 1913. When you look at the long-term chart, look at the buying power of the dollar's just taken a shit since then. But again, really accelerated during this point. So. Basically, when you have a dollar that's worth less and less and less, that money looks for places to go. And what kind of places are that? Well, take a look at the, what did I just see? Something about a Bored Ape NFT just sold for 1% of the expected 300,000 price. Even 1%, in my opinion, would be too much money. Someone actually sold a non-fungible token with. And they were sad. They claim it should have brought 300,000, 250,000. Come on, folks. You would pay 250,000 for a electronic version of this piece of shit right here? I mean, that's my opinion. So we got to be on the end days of the U.S. currency when people with so much fucking money buy crap like that. 300,000. Give me a fucking break. This is tulip bulb shit, man, really. Well, I'm not going to go into tulip bulbs and things that are similar to the tulip bulb market today, because I could get kind of sidetracked there. But bad money drives out good money. So what would be the bad money? Bad money would be the dollars that they're pumping out right now. When people start to fear the dollar's buying power is just getting less and less and less, they don't want to own it for long. Look at Venezuelans. As soon as they would get paid in bolivars or whatever bolivars, their payment, that's their equivalent of the dollar, it would lose value. They were in hyperinflationary period, though. They would lose value. They would spend it immediately, buy anything with it. Whether it was a jar of pickles or they would buy anything. They'd rather have anything than own a bolivar, which was the equivalent of the U.S. dollar over there. And it almost seems like with billionaires and multimillionaires, it's the same thing right now. Look, people are spending, like I said, how much was it? 1% expected price of $300,000, $250,000 for a really bad piece of digital art on a thumb drive, wherever the fuck they put it on, that you personally own, and why do you want to own that thing anyway, just beyond me. It's freaking bizarro world out there, folks. It's Superman's bizarro world. And for those of you who've never read a Superman comic book, just stop real quick, do a search for Bizarro World Superman, and you'll know what I'm talking about. So good money, or bad money drives out good money. How is that also? How does that look when it comes to our money? Think about this. Even in 1960, prior to 1965, pre-1965 dimes, which could have been a Roosevelt with that reverse, where a Mercury dime was worth 10 cents. That's what our currency was worth. Well, this is kind of a good example of bad money driving out good money. After 1965, our government decided, well, they couldn't afford to keep us on a silver standard. They took us off the gold standard shortly after that, or they took the country, they closed the gold window. Americans were already off the gold standard pretty much, but the foreigners weren't yet. But pre-1965, you would just spend this like a regular dime, a silver dime here, because the price of silver and the dime were very similar. Actually, the dime was worth as much as the silver in that dime. Well, you can see what inflation did, because after 1965, they pulled a fast one on you, folks. They substituted your silver coinage with copper nickel and a piece of copper sandwiched in between there. So what happened during that transition? Did all the people just say, screw it, we're going to turn in all our Mercury dimes and all our silver coins, and we're going to hold on to non-silver coins? No, that's not what happened. People hoarded anything made out of silver. So all your dimes, quarters, and halves pre-1964, and a lot of you stackers that have constitutional silver know this, there's tons of it out there. And why was that? Because people held on to it. What did they spend? They didn't spend their silver dimes when the changeover in 1965 happened. They didn't spend their silver dimes. You know what they did with them? They saved them. They didn't turn them back into the bank. They saved them. And what did they spend when they got in their hand? They spent those little copper nickel jobbies right there. And that's actually a real simplified version of this Gresham's law. Bad money drives out good money. People will want to hold on to good shit and get rid of the bad shit. So that's kind of what I think we're seeing with billionaires and millionaires that are buying a Donkey Kong video game in an unopened box for $250,000, for example, or maybe that's justified. I don't know. Collectible. People collect all kinds of weird shit, but cryptos, for example, something that doesn't even exist, worth good money. I'm telling you, we are really in the end times of this currency when you consider that we're the longest surviving fiat currency in history. And what we're seeing now is just mass acceleration of the lack of the buying power of the dollar. What's that got to do with gold? Well, gold's been around for 5,000 years, so has silver. It's outlived corporations, it's outlived empires, it's outlived every form of currency out there, every single form, all right? It's got a track record, folks. It's been around long after an empire's dissolved. Gold and silver still being traded and used as a medium of exchange and used as a preservation of wealth, and it still is today. Track record, folks. If you were going to hire someone, what's the first thing you look at? You look at their resume and you look at their track record, pretty much. Let's say their track record, all right? And when you look at gold and silver's track record compared to any other investment out there, any other form of wealth preservation, it is superior. Its track record is approached by none, zero, none. Some could make the argument that maybe real estate. Nope, not even real estate. Real estate is taxed. It can be taken away from you. Well, so could gold to some degree, but real estate, not even. Real estate prices collapsed. Look, when Rome collapsed, I'm sure the real estate collapsed with it. So, well, anyways, I don't want to digress too far from that. Let's kind of move into gata.org before I kind of look at some ZH articles here. And they point out here a couple good articles. Again, if you're a stacker in gold and silver and you're new to my videos, first, please hit that subscribe and like. I'd really appreciate that. The second thing is make sure you put gata.org up in your bookmark bar. If you're a gold and silver stacker, you kind of need to know, and I say this all the time, you can fast forward through here, folks, but you got to know how the casino, which is COMEX, plays the game, who the players are, the big whales, how the game is tilted in their favor, and gata.org explains this. As I say all the time, of course the game is rigged, but if you don't play, you can't win. That's a Robert Heinlein quote, by the way. So let's take a look at, well, as I said, the Fed was not hawkish yesterday, and the unraveling has begun. A couple good articles we're not going to read here because I don't call it homework, thanks to one of my commenters. He said, never give people homework. No one likes homework. And I, of course, remember it as a young man. I hated homework. So I got suggested reading. Everybody likes suggested reading, especially in a topic they like. So I would say your suggested reading, doing the Elmer Fudd thing here. Your suggested reading this week should be gata.org. Catch up on a few articles you haven't seen. And again, if you're new to my videos and you haven't seen gata.org, there's a whole bunch of cool stuff to read. The first thing I recommend, though, if you've never seen this website, is go here and look at the basics, confiscation documentation. This gives you a lot of information, and it will catch you up on a lot of stuff as well. Real rates will stay negative. Turk tells King World News. And of course, this is something we talked about this for, the Fed can jawbone all they want. Again, I've been saying for a while now that I always accuse the Fed of being, not accused, in the past, I always thought the Fed, these people are stupid, man. They don't know what they're doing. But really, in reality, they do because they're in charge of a sinking ship. I mean, look at the chart where the buying power of the dollar from 1913 is just falling and accelerated recently. They are in charge of, they inherit the sinking ship. A new Fed chairman inherits the sinking ship. And they can't tell you the ship is sinking. They have to jawbone it the best they can. Now, if they can patch it up with patches and stuff, they're not fixing anything. It's obviously, the only way the Fed could fix anything is get off the fiat standard, go back to a gold or some kind of fixed standard. And again, some folks are going to say, well, why not that be cryptos? Well, first off, the Fed's never going to allow anyone to replace the dollar, all right? They may kind of mouth it or anything, but they're not going to allow the dollar to be replacement. And the one thing crypto people need to remember is governments and bankers hate competition, okay? So, and the other thing too is we've already learned that Bitcoin is not money. Too volatile. At first they tried to pitch it to us as money, as a form of money and a way to buy things. Right now, it really truly is just a highly speculative, I don't even want to call it an asset, because what do you really own? To me, an asset is property. To me, an asset is physical things that you own. So I don't really, and that may not necessarily be entirely true, but I don't even want to call it an asset. I just want to call it a highly speculative vehicle of some sort to either make a lot of money or lose a lot of money. And as I said, well, we're digressing from real rates. Why was I talking about real rates? Real rates, they're going to jawbone it. As I said, the Fed has, they're in charge of a sinking ship. The best they can do is jawbone these rates, and they can't afford to raise it up to where the PPI. We all know this. They know that. So they're going to try to jawbone inflation down, but I don't think it's going to happen. And they're going to, as soon as the stock market really looks like it's going, they're going to try to take it down slowly and let it go down slowly by itself. But if it makes any dramatic, huge moves in that 10 or 20% range, you can bet you the Fed's going to come in and start their, taper off the taper or something. And well, no less. Good article to read here: the credit cycle and the zombies' downfall, and some other things. The Russian central bank would stop investments in cryptocurrencies. That's real interesting because, what did I just say a little bit ago? Governments and bankers hate competition. They're just not going to allow a non-government entity to run their currency or run their economies. It's just not going to happen. So even though you can say it did happen down in Guatemala, what's that country that converted over to Bitcoin, but it's not working out too well for them so far. Be sad to see if that really takes, boy. Anyways, let's go somewhere else here. Let's go to yesterday's video. The jig is up, Crooked Comics. I'm going to go over a few comments here. I'm going to blow this up a little bit. I'd like to thank everybody for watching here. Close your eyes. I get dizzy when I do scroll this down real fast too. Thank you, Z, Inspector Jason as well. And as he says, enjoy the shit show. Feds are off the rocker if they think we believe they will raise rates soon. Exactly. Thank you, sir. It's a bull, all right. And great data stack. Thank you. If you read, have you ever saw a 2004 $10 American Freedom dollar? No, I can't say I have. I really can't. So, Knife Collector, if you get a chance, just provide a link to a picture or something like that. I'll take a look at it in today's comments. Bobcat B says, thanks for your consistency. Couple things, commented on one of the Sal's video. I went to look for that video. Let me know what date it was. Couldn't really tell. Cost on average, and Ted is a genius. I got to agree. I think Ted Butler is one of the smartest guys out there when it comes to understanding how the casino rigs a game. Thanks for watching, sir. Appreciate that, Organ Stacker. Dude, can you please let it go for more than 50 cents before you start pumping up silver? It's like $4 this fire over the last 4 months, and it goes up 50 cents now, and you're all over it. I'm all over everything, dude. Thanks for watching, Jamie. I appreciate it. Have yourself a happy holidays. What's up, Hager? Appreciate you commenting and watching, and you, Silver Lou, and Joey, and Z. Oh, let's see here. Inspad Danuda says, love your no BS on New York BS Comics Cheater. Thank you, sir. And I love the fact that you guys watch it and that you pass this around to other people, because really this needs to be common knowledge amongst people. And once it does, and comics realizes that they're going to lose massive credibility allowing these large whales to manipulate these markets, maybe they'll do something about it. Credibility is important to these markets. At least you think they are. Over here says, when the shit hits the fan, the market takes a dump. Are these technical terms? I think I replied to that last night. For those of us that wipe our own asses instead of expecting others to, yes, it is a technical term, sir. So we come from the working class, all right? Dog will hunt, the jig is up. Haven't heard that since 72. I almost spelled it G-I-G, so, I think I haven't read it since 1972, since I almost spelled it wrong. Thanks for watching, Dog will hunt. You as well, Chris. Appreciate it. And how does the strength of the dollar affect the price of gold and silver? I showed you that little, go to macro trend charts here. Where is it? And you can kind of see the inverse relationship. There it is, gold price and U.S., let me close that. Gold price and U.S. dollar correlation. There's a chart for you, sir, or ma'am, I'm not quite sure, I didn't look. And also, by the way, love macro trend charts, guys. There's a lot of cool stuff here you can play with, and it's for free. Let's take a look at some other questions. The Fed has a century to learn how to protect their Ponzi scheme by suppressing precious metals. The Fed, primarily, Alan, the Fed has suppressed supposedly the gold market. That's what GATA.org contends. They've been talking about it for a while. This is what all the talk about the Bank of International Settlements and Basel III is all about. Central bankers keeping the price of gold down. Again, that's something GATA.org talks a lot about. Silver is a different story. A lot of people confuse the two metals, and that the manipulation is done by the same. Not very likely. I do not believe that silver is manipulated by any government entities, including the Bank of International Settlements or anything like that, as GATA.org salently points out in their article. If you get, again, read GATA.org, go here and read the basics. They explain that. So as far as silver, that's a different thing. Silver is done by some big commercial banksters in the COMEX markets. Totally different thing. And it's really sad to see good people like you, well, I appreciate that comment, sir. I believe you're a good person as well, still holding on to the hope that it'll still be a hedge, even though the last decade has gained less than 1% while discounting the 1S. Okay, well, let me point out one thing here. Alan, you made one small mistake here. Gold has gained, you've taken a specific point, and this is funny, a lot of people do this when they want to trash another market. I could do the same thing with cryptocurrencies. You took in the last decade, last decade it would include our high of $2,000 with gold, and That was our height, I think, 2011 or 2012, probably 2012. And the last 10 years would include that. So if you included that on your chart, it's gained less than 1% over that course of time. That would be true. If you included another couple months after that, or 6 months after that, then it would have shown a large gain. It'd kind of be like me saying, pointing to the crypto market right here and saying, let's just look at a chart. Let's see if they can get a chart here. And we're going to go all. It'd kind of be like me saying that, well, since, where's the height of the crypto market? Since November 16th to today, crypto markets have lost how much? You can't cherry pick your times, and that's what you kind of just did with the price of gold by your comment there, sir. Again, I'm sure you're a good person, but you're holding on to misinformation. While discounting the one asset has outperformed precious metals by a factor too big to measure. And I know you're talking about cryptocurrencies more than likely, forgive me if I'm wrong. However, like I said, with cryptos, what do you really own? And again, I'm not going to go into a crypto trashing. I always say that people that understand how that casino is played and people understand who the whales are and know how to get in and out and play that market, they're going to do well. The average Joe just throwing money into Bitcoin is going to get screwed, trust me on this. And the issue you have with Bitcoin versus gold, Bitcoin has no long-term track record. When? 2012? When was it actually created? I don't even know. Oh, right there, August 15th, 8 p.m. No, Bitcoin, it's been around for what, less than 20 years or something like that, maybe? Gold's been around for 5,000 years, has a track record. Again, if you're hiring somebody, what do you want to look at? You want to look at the resume. And what is a resume? Basically a track record. What kind of track record does cryptocurrencies have? Very small, very volatile. What kind of track record does precious metals have? Excellent, excellent. Even if you look at the time frames and the currencies, and again, it's out-survived everything. So that's my kind of point there. Thanks for watching, Mrs. Swanner. I really appreciate it, and your comments as well. We can agree to disagree on some things, but no less, I think I made my point known as, and I appreciate you making your point as well. Linda, thanks for watching. I made you curious. That's always nice. I hope I make some of you curious out there. Palladium uses, it's rare for the production of catalytic converters. Yep. Multi-layer ceramic capacitors and goods. I'd say yes to that, except I don't know what a multi-layer ceramic capacitor is. But obviously they're used in laptops and mobile phones. In the jewelry industry, it could be a substitute for platinum and be alloyed with gold to create some type of white gold. That is true. I've seen that, but mostly you don't see very much palladium used in the jewelry business. Very, very little. I think you might see some mixed in with platinum actually. For surgical instruments and equipment, dental alloys, yep, I know that. Palladium is also used in electronics, dentistry, so many different things. However, platinum can take the place of palladium in catalytic converters and a lot of things as well. I think the reason originally they went from platinum to palladium, a lot of the reasons, or some of the reasons, not for all these products, but when it came to catalytic converters, is platinum just got so expensive. Palladium was a cheaper metal to use. Now it's kind of reversed roles now. Platinum actually would be a cheaper metal to use than palladium in catalytic converters. So let's see if automotive companies are able to switch up and go back to platinum and stop using palladium. I kind of doubt it, but that's what they did back when they were, platinum was originally in the older catalytic converters and they switched to palladium because it was cheaper, but it's just the opposite now. So that's kind of curious. Hey, thanks for watching, Linda. And again, all you folks out there, if you first time watching my video, make sure you hit that subscribe and like button. I really appreciate that. And as you know, I always try to answer comments as well. Hey, that's it. This is Brian Kuzmar. It's not even, I was going to say it's a long day, and the day's not even started for me. So I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. Let's see what happens on Mondays with markets. And if you live in my area, I advertise to be at Atmex, JMSD Bullion, the big local guys online for the more common products. And of course, I won't sell you products that are too much money. So if you're looking to buy gold or silver or platinum, call me anytime at 954-493-8811 between the hours of 10 and 4, Mondays through Fridays. Happy to help you out. And with that said, I'm going to go. Have yourself a great weekend again. Bye.